and good afternoon. It is Friday and it is our regular lunch and learn. Now, I have been MIA for the last 2 weeks because of technical difficulties, and it's frustrating. I did this report, I scheduled it, and for whatever reason, it didn't go. Tried to reschedule, didn't go. So we're going to do it live again. So you know what they say, practice makes perfect. So thank you for joining me here. And I appreciate it very, very much. Now, today we're going to be talking about bone structure. We're going to be talking about fragile bone structure. We're going to be talking about what you can do in order to remineralize your bones. Now, there's a lot of information out there from the pharmacy, from drugs and that kind of thing. You're going to hear a lot of commercials and that kind of information. However, if you look beyond what you're being told by mainstream media, you might have a different perspective and you might make a different choice. I have a blog on our website. You're going to have to go back to, I think it's like 2012, something like that, when I wrote that blog, but it tells you why you might want to think twice about the medications. And so you can look at that and do your own due diligence on that. So what makes our bones weaken as we age? That is a question, and we need to understand that so that we can move forward. Most of the time, osteopenia is a female issue. It does affect men, but not near to the extent that it affects women. It affects older women that have gone through menopause because we don't have estrogen. There is a biochemical connection between estrogen and calcium absorption and that kind of thing. So as we get older, we need to do things to replenish that and to help us do better. Now, the estrogen also helps us with our heart and to maintain a healthy heart. 95% of cardiac events in women happen when they're postmenopausal. So we need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. If you are a woman who is postmenopausal, hopefully you're getting a DEXA scan every 2 years. That is a test where they they see where your bone density is. What causes bone loss? Stress will cause bone loss, lack of estrogen, as I just said. Also, drinking and eating foods that are very, very acidic. When we eat those foods that are acidic, the body, remember, the body is a survival organism. The body pulls calcium from the bones to neutralize the acid in our fluids. And so if we are drinking a lot of sodas, drinking a lot of coffee, eating a lot of genetically modified foods, if our urine pH is very, very acidic, then the body, to maintain equilibrium, is going to be pulling calcium from our bones. So we want to make sure that we're not doing any of those bad things. So in 2015, there was a scientific review published by the Journal of Internal Medicine, and it found that 3 of the core hypotheses around bone fractures, okay, and how to avoid them are deeply flawed. And so we want to look at this research. We want to see why is it flawed, how is it flawed, so that we can make really, really good, we need to make good decisions for our health. The paper was entitled Osteoporosis, the Emperor Has No Clothes. All right, remember that little nursery rhyme, right? So current prevention strategies for low trauma fractures amongst older persons depend on the notions that A, fractures are mainly caused by osteoporosis. It is a pathogenic, pathogenic process of the body. Patients at high risk can be identified through screening, and the risk is amenable to bone-targeted pharmacological treatments. However, all 3 notions can be disputed. So what that means is that if you are going on what is the result of your DEXA scan can be incorrect. Now, I've not done the research on this. I pretty much do look at a DEXA scan. I get one every couple of years. I'm pretty good on that. Had a little bit of osteopenia, but the last times I've been checked, I've been good. However, I've changed my lifestyle. I've changed my eating. I've done more exercise. I've stopped drinking sodas. When I was growing up, my mom had a soda in her hand from the time she woke up to the time she went to bed. I thought that's what grown-ups do. And so for years I did that. Situations changed. I got some education and I found out just how debilitating sodas are. And so I don't do that anymore. And so I've changed my lifestyle, which has changed what's going on in my body. So these three things, if you're older, you are going to lose your bone density. It's not necessarily so. If your DEXA scan says you're losing bone density, it's not necessarily so. And also, if you're taking those pharmaceutical injections, you're going to save your bone structure. Again, not necessarily so. So all the three premises have been pretty much found to be wanting. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. It says, the paper notes, most fracture patients have fallen, but actually do not have osteoporosis. A high likelihood of falling in turn is attributable to age-related decline in physical function and in general fragility. So that's really important to understand. It has been said to me that people don't fall and break a bone, that their hip breaks and then they fall. The research is not showing that, so I'm not sure what you have heard or what you're living by. The research is showing that as we get older, we become more sedentary. We're not moving, we're not exercising. And so because we're not doing that, we are having more falls because we're just not balanced. I know from the work that I do here in the clinic that people are not getting their nutrition. If they're not getting their nutrition, then that's going to give them some balance issues. That's going to give them, they're just not going to have the strength that they had before, which is going to in turn cause them to fall. And so we want to make sure that we look at that, and we're going to look at these statistics in just a moment. We don't have to get old and become fragile. I am older. I do not feel fragile most of the time, okay? If I don't get enough sleep, if things are stressing me out, then of course I'm going to feel a little bit more fragile, but I still walk fairly fast and, still doing what I'm able to do. And so that's what's really, really important. Exercise is really important in maintaining your bone density. So there is the debate on how to maintain your bone. And so we want to know exactly what the research is showing. All right. The research is showing that keeping calcium and vitamin D in your diet does strengthen your bones. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the calcium supplements out there are nothing more than chalk. You cannot absorb chalk. Chalk is not a food, all right? So a lot of times people, especially older people who are on a fixed income, they will go to the drugstore, they will go to the grocery store. Hopefully they're not shopping on our big box stores online because we can't verify what we're actually taking when we get those things. So I'm just throwing that out there. A lot of what you buy on the big box store online is counterfeit. It is old, it is not efficacious, and so we don't ever recommend that you do that. However, if you are older and on a fixed income and you do go to the pharmacy or the grocery store and you get the buy one, get one free, you're probably getting chalk, which is not bioavailable. And also it doesn't have the cofactors that you need. So what I want to do is show you a supplement that we have here in the clinic. It's by Lane Medical. Now, we do this one because it is clinically proven to rebuild your bones. So if I have osteopenia, if I have osteoporosis, I don't want to just take any old supplement, hope for the best, cross my fingers, and then go take the DEXA scan. What I want to do is to make sure that what I'm taking is going to do what I need it to do. Now, this is clinically proven, as I say, to rebuild your bones. Now, let me tell you what it has in here. It has vitamin C, vitamin D3, calcium, magnesium, zinc, copper, manganese, vitamin K2. All right. It's got some amino acid extracts from sea algae. It's got boron. And so it has all the things in it that make the calcium work. And so that's what's important. If you're taking the buy one, get one free at the grocery store, you don't have any of these cofactors, and calcium just by itself is not going to be enough for you. So I just want to read you a few little statistics on this. So it says that vitamin D and calcium are a tag team. Vitamin D is the main factor in calcium absorption within the bones, and as such, manufacturers have sought to market supplements that contain both calcium and vitamin D within the same bottle. And this one does, but in my opinion, it's not enough vitamin D, and so we also supplement with a spray. It's a liquid vitamin D. You spray it right into the inside of your cheek. Now, why do you do that? Vitamin D, a lot of times when you buy it at the grocery store or the pharmacy, it's vitamin D all by itself. Vitamin D needs vitamin K in order to be bioavailable, to be absorbed into your body. If you get a supplement that is a capsule or a gel cap, if you're going to do that route, we want you to do gel cap because at least it's in a liquid form. You need to have a liquid form to be more bioavailable. Why they give it to you in a tablet, why they give it to you in a capsule, I do not know, because it's not bioavailable. When you take a vitamin D supplement orally, then it goes through the digestive juices in the stomach and it gets chewed up, degraded. It goes through the first pass of the liver, again, becomes degraded. Then the blood takes whatever is left over into the kidneys where your body naturally absorbs that vitamin D into the bloodstream, and then it goes and does what it needs to do. So that's why when you are taking a pharmaceutical vitamin D, you're doing 50,000 IUs a week, because the doctors know that it goes through digestion, it goes through the first pass of the liver, and so by the time it gets to the kidneys, there's very little left. So they give you tons and tons and tons so that you've got something left at the end of the day. We have a spray, and it is vitamin D and vitamin K in a liposome. What is a liposome? A liposome means that it is biotagged to go exactly where you need it, and there's zero waste. Doesn't go through digestion, doesn't go through the first pass of the liver. It goes right into the bloodstream through the inside of your cheek. And we have seen clinically here in our office, when someone comes in with blood work that shows that they've got low vitamin D, we recommended that they do this spray. Within 2 months, within 60 days, we see a huge leap in their labs. Now, when you're looking at your labs, your medical reference range says that your vitamin D level should be 30 nanograms per deciliter to 100. I have seen, in the course of our practice, I have seen 2 people that were over 100. So it's very, very rare that that ever happens. I rarely see people at 90. As long as you're at 70, I'm a happy girl. But a lot of times people come in and their doctor says that they're fine, but they're only registering a 30. That's really not quite enough. If you've got enough vitamin D, you're going to absorb all of your calcium from your food. It's going to protect you against cancer. It's going to protect you against depression. So if those are things that you're concerned about, and it also, vitamin D, a high enough level of vitamin D is going to protect you from viral load. So that's one of the things that we learned in the past 2 years, that people with very low vitamin D did not fare as well with viral loads as people who had large amounts of vitamin D. So on your supplementation, when you're looking at what you are looking at in the big box store or the pharmacy or whatever, there's 3 different kinds of calcium. The most expensive calcium is the one that is going to be most bioavailable, but still, if you don't have the cofactors, you're just really wasting your money, okay? Calcium is plentiful in dairy products, also in beans, green vegetables, fruits, and nuts. So again, we've got food sources, but if you're not digesting your food, then that's not going to help you. And remember, we've got this beautiful scanner here that we take the heel of your hand, we put it on this laser, and it tells us in 30 seconds what you're doing with your digestion. So if you're not absorbing your nutrients from your food, you pretty much are not going to be absorbing the nutrients from your supplements either, which is why a liposome is going to help you because it goes right into the bloodstream on that. As I said earlier, high intake of soda, high intake of caffeine with your coffee also leaches the calcium out of your bones. So you might want to think about how much coffee you're drinking and how much sodas. As I just said, soda was a big thing growing up. As I became an adult, coffee, I love coffee. I think coffee is just awesome. And I used to have a coffee cup full on my desk all throughout my day as a school teacher because I love the way it tastes. When I found out that not only does it cause adrenal fatigue, it also causes calcium to be leached from the bones, I decided that was probably not my best bet. So I still have my cup of coffee in the morning. I enjoy it. I love it. But it is a rare, rare thing indeed that I will have coffee in the afternoon and almost never at night. So I have modified my ways quite a bit. Now, I will just tell you that the FDA recommended daily adult dosage of calcium is around 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams of calcium per day. As far as I know, I have not seen any research that said that they have changed their recommended daily requirements since about the 1960s. So that amount is woefully inadequate. Just going to throw that out there. What we need to do is we need to make sure that we get enough to meet the needs of our bodies. We are more stressed now than we were in the 1960s. Why is that? Well, one of the things is that we are bombarded with electromagnetic smog. So if you don't know what that is, then you need to go to YouTube and you need to Google it. There are quite a few hours long presentation on that, but there's a real down and dirty little video. It's about 3 minutes long, and it shows what happens to your body, what happens to your blood when you are subjected to the electromagnetic frequencies. And so what we want to do is we want to look at that, and we want to make sure that our blood is not stacked up like a row of pennies, right? Because that's the way cancer blood looks. And when we are subjected to EMFs all the time, as we are when we're doing lives and we're on our computers and we've got Wi-Fi in the building and all that, I wear a personal protective device inside my bra. Yes, I did say that out loud. And what it does is it creates a force field around me to stop the EMFs, right? EMFs are everywhere. And you can say, I'm not going to use my phone. I'm not going to wear my phone. I'm not going to do whatever you're not going to do. And yay, and I applaud you for that. But EMFs, especially with the 5G technology that we have now, all of the towers, all of that, we are bombarded with electromagnetic frequencies, and it does cause us harm in our body. So that's not really what I was going to talk about today, but it kind of fits in with this. Your sun's rays, we want you to go outside and get some sun rays. Between 10 and 2 is your most optimal time. However, if you're very fair, you're not going to be able to stay out there long and absorb those rays. And some people just don't metabolize vitamin D from the sun's rays. I'm just saying that. So if we wear SPF makeup, which I do. And why do I do that? Because I want to protect my skin and I don't want to have melanoma and that kind of thing. So I do wear, I think I wear 35 SPF. It says here that when you have high levels of SPF, and I think you can get 50 now, I've heard that anyway, that's also going to restrict the amount of vitamin D that comes into your skin. So if you want to use your food for your vitamin D, you can do milk, eggs, fortified cereals, and mushrooms according to this report. Now, I just want to say, when you're doing your dairy products, like your milk, if you do milk, I don't do milk. If you do milk, you want to do raw milk, which I know people are going, but that's not FDA approved. I know it's not. However, it is very healthy. Many people have healed their gut just by drinking raw milk. What you don't want to do is you don't want to get your commercial milk that has your antibiotics and your hormones in it. All right, so you want to get organic milk that doesn't have that. You want to get organic yogurt, organic cheese, and that kind of thing. It's still going to have the vitamin D in there. Cereals, yes, they are fortified with vitamin D. However, what people don't normally know is that the extrusion process, they take the grain, they make little O's with it, or they make little nuts, or they make whatever, they make flakes. All of that comes from the extruder, and the extruder changes the DNA. Okay, it changes the DNA of the grain so that is not even bioavailable. You can't do that. So just throwing that out there. There's a lot of things that we eat that we think we're doing good for our body, but we're really not getting the benefit of that. So just going to throw that out there, okay? So let me see, phosphorus and magnesium. So like calcium, phosphorus and magnesium fall under the category of major minerals that are essential to the body. Phosphorus helps build bones and teeth. Unfortunately, not all minerals play nicely with one another, okay, as phosphorus and colas can encourage calcium to be excreted through the urine, and we talked about that a while ago. Phosphorus is available in high-protein foods such as meat, fish, poultry, eggs, and milk. However, if you are a vegetarian, and I know a lot of my people are vegetarians, then you can get them from grains, nuts, and legumes. And so you've got options for your phosphorus that are not animal-based, okay? Adults should strive for 700 milligrams of phosphorus according to the RDA. So, of course, I would want you to have more than that. If you eat good food, then you should be getting most of what you need through that. However, I personally, my little scan here that I just showed you, when I tested last year, I was at about 35,000. You need to be 90,000, okay? I was horrified because I eat fairly well. I take a lot of supplements. I take vitamins. I mean, that's part of my routine. And so I was like, okay, well, obviously something's not right. I changed to the vitamins that the scanner recommends, and they're guaranteed to move your number. And in 90 days, yes, my number changed. I was not in the yellow. I was over in the purple, which purple is the best that you can get. And what does that mean? That means that I now am actually absorbing all of the vital nutrients that my body needs, which means that I'm probably not going to have a bone density problem because all of the cofactors that are in here are in that vitamin supplement. So if you want to know anything about that, just reach out to me and I will hook you up with that. All right. So vitamin K, of course, we've talked about. You've got to have vitamin K to make your vitamin D bioavailable. All right. Adults who consume the least amount of vitamin K on a daily basis were also likely to have the highest incidence of bone fractures. All right. So foods that are high in vitamin K include all of your dark leafy green vegetables. So all of my vegetarian friends, you're doing probably well on that. Also cheese, liver. I'm not a fan of liver. Liver is a filter food, so I'm just going to throw that out there. Cereal and fruits. And so if you eat that, then you're going to be able to do well with that. Now, exercise is a key component in maintaining your bone density, especially load-bearing exercise. So what is your best load-bearing exercise? Walking. You're bearing your own load, all right? And so as you are walking, you are strengthening your bones. So that's something that we need to do. We need to incorporate that. I see that Velma, I love Velma. Velma says that she tries to get a walk in every day, and that is awesome. We like that. Weightlifting also helps to strengthen your bones. Even just putting your hands flat against the wall and leaning into that strengthens your bones because, again, you're bearing your own weight. Okay, so anything that is weight bearing. It says, as the old adage goes, use it or lose it. Keeping healthy bone integrity is no exception. Like most of our bodies, a certain amount of stress causes bones to go stronger. Weight-bearing tolerance, exercise builds and protects bone mass, okay, as well as builds stronger muscles to prevent falls. In a study from the Journal of Healthcare, notes that certain areas of the skeleton may be impacted positively by the muscles being engaged during a workout, thus providing a significant increase in bone mineral density. For example, the hip adductor and abductor muscles, which stabilize the hip joint. This is a key to allowing the body to move against gravity using free weights and weight machines. So we want to incorporate that into our regimen. You don't have to pay a lot of money to go to the gym. You can get 5-pound bags of sugar, put them in your hand, right? And lift them. That's load bearing. As I said, you can put your hand against the wall, lean into that. You can walk, you can go upstairs. That's load bearing. All those kind of things increase your bone density. So we want to do the do's and we don't want to do the don'ts. So we don't want a lot of cola. We don't want a lot of caffeine. We don't want a lot of stress in our lives because that leaches the calcium out of our bones. Okay, balance training is another good thing to do. And they're saying to try and do some balance training with your eyes closed. Now, some people can't do this at all because they have absolutely no balance, all right? So they're saying if you close your eyes while doing tasks that involve standing or practicing Tai Chi, that will help increase your balance so you don't fall. Now, remember earlier in the report, it said that most adults, older adults, fall because they lose their balance and they become genuinely frail. Well, I don't consider myself a frail person, okay? I don't think I look frail. I don't think I act frail. I don't want to be frail. So exercise has been a part of my daily routine for several years now. And so we want to continue to do that because that load-bearing exercise strengthens your bones. Also, we take good supplements that we know they've been clinically proven. 8,000 peer-reviewed studies. Those vitamins I was telling you about, 8,000 peer-reviewed studies that say that these vitamins work. So that's really, really important. The third thing with your exercise is aerobic training for 30 minutes per day over the course of a week, right? Adopt a walking program or try activities such as dancing or tennis. All right, those are really good. So if you want to prevent falls, all right, you want to prevent age-related degradation, all right? Age-related showing of movement plays a pivotal role in the declining health of older adults. So you might say, I'm not wanting to exercise. Okay, fine. If you're not wanting to exercise, then you are going to get sedentary. As you get more sedentary, you are going to have more health issues according to the report. We don't want to do that, okay? Slowing down typically begins at age 62, which I don't consider old by any stretch of the imagination, all right? And it is marked with a reduction in how fast a person walks. It can lead to dysfunction, poor mental and physical health, also loss of independence, and a higher risk of death, according to a 2017 study. And a report for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found that 27.5% of older Americans reported falling in 2018. Falls are the leading cause of injury among the elderly. 62, I just don't see that as elderly, but I digress. Some falls resulting in serious injury. We don't want to do that. So developing reactive control, right? I'm able to catch myself. I'm able to balance myself because I'm busy and because I'm active. I mean, I'm active all over the place around here. All right. And so that's what you want to do. So you want to make sure that you have good supplementation. You want to make sure that you're walking, that you're doing load bearing exercise. You want to read the report. I did a blog, as I said, on why pharmaceuticals are not all that they're telling you that they are. If you read the little bacteria print at the bottom of the advertisements, or you look at the black box warning on your prescription, educate yourself, do what you need to do. I did a couple weeks ago put a link for that blog on the Facebook post that never posted. So I'm going to try and do that again today so that you can look at that. I can't remember my source for that, but it was from a medical doctor's dumbing down the literature so the layperson could understand it. All right. So we do that for you. I've given you a lot of information. I'm getting ready to get on a phone call with a new supplement company that has a liquid bone repair formula that I'm looking forward to seeing how that compares with what I already have, because there's just not many things that are guaranteed to work. There's not many things that are clinically proven to work. And I'm all about the guarantee. I'm all about making sure that what we tell you actually does work. And it's not just, oh, I'm going to tell you this because I want you to come into my clinic and buy stuff. No, that's not what we're about. We're about making sure that you have the information that you need so that you can make those lifestyle changes and you can have the health that you deserve. Healing is our birthright. I'm fully convinced of that. I do what I do because I believe in that. I believe in that for myself. I believe in that for you. And that's really what motivates me every day, is to bring these health solutions to you so that you can live the life that you want to. It is the weekend. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope we're over all of our technical difficulties. It's been a hard 3 weeks for us here. So thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your continued support of listening and sharing and liking and commenting and all those good kind of things. Enjoy yourself. Don't get too much sun. Don't get a sunburn. Okay. We want you to get that vitamin D that you need, but also protect your skin. We love you. We'll see you next week. All things being equal and my technology works for me. Love you guys.